After a day's rest in Alhambra at my buddy Henry's apartment, it's time to pack up and head to San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con weekend. And what a beautiful day it is today. I had to make sure and pack up all my necessary equipment, including cameras for vlogging, and my Surface Pro 2 for work, and plenty of underwear. But let's go to an awesome Chinese pastry shop to pick up some breakfast for the road, just like last year. Oh, and some drinks too. Since this ride was going to be about 3 hours to San Diego, we decided to turn on the camera and just start talking art, kind of like yesterday when I came into town.
Think about a topic to talk about?
Yeah.
Like, maybe this will be our complaints about wannabe artists in general. Like, I don't know, that's always the first thing on my mind. I always deal with these, not wannabe, I wouldn't say wannabe artists. Like,
aspiring, maybe delusional aspiring artists.
Yeah, that's a little more jaded. That's more like on your forte, I think. I just deal with a lot of, well, a couple. They I can't categorize them all together. I deal with artists that like to draw, but don't get off their butts, right? Then there are artists who have talents, but, you know, and one of the, what should we call it? They're sad and frustrated that they cannot make money, but they don't want to, you know, suck it up and draw stuff they don't like to draw. Like, you know, like for example, Pepper the Robot, right? So,
I know people from both camps.
Yeah. So we know plenty, because I think at one point I feel that way too. But you know, that's when you do conventions, and that's kind of, you just have to suck it up and draw stuff you don't want to draw, right? So yeah, either that or you don't take commissions, right? But
turn left.
I think a lot of it depends on the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
Because the environment really influences like your motivation and attitude too. Because in the convention environment, for me, it's you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm thinking about is just getting the sketches done.
But a convention environment is very encouraging, because everybody is drawing. Yeah. Like, it makes you feel like it's like going to the gym as opposed to working out at home. Everybody's doing the same thing. You feel like
that's a good analogy.
Right. So
it's the environment. Yeah.
In a quarter of a mile, exit right.
You know, when I had a home gym, I mean, I still worked out, but I mean, there are definitely benefits to being in an environment where everyone else is doing the exact same thing, and you know, helps motivate you when you see other people working out hard.
Yeah.
Exit right.
And that's one of the things, like, as we progress individually, and it would be awesome at some point that
keep
we
left.
could be a team, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I think also that's what separates, you know, like the men from the boys, so to speak, or a pro from a non-pro.
Right.
Is to be able to do that and not needing the environment. Some people need the environment as an excuse to produce. Right.
It's one factor that helps, but if at the end of the day, if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. You know, you if you don't, like, if you want to do it, you'll find ways to do it regardless of where you are. You know, so yeah, this is a long turn in my school.
But anyway, we're getting back to the topic of motivation and stuff. You know, everyone is entitled to, you know, not be motivated. You know, that's part of being normal and human.
Yes.
But I think what separates the pros is even in those times, they have to push and they do it anyway.
Yeah.
When they really have to. Whereas other people just give up.
Yeah, I think it's especially tough for the pros, because they do this day in and day out, right? They have no, sometimes when I talk to you, I feel like you don't really have a sense of excitement anymore on the stuff you do. You just have to do it, right?
No,
there's
that's true. I'm burnt out.
Yeah. So, it's almost like no level of...
I'm like Metallica.
Yeah.
They don't put out any more good albums because they're burnt out and they don't need the money.
I talk to, like, whenever I'm streaming Twitch and people ask me about being an artist, because, you know, the Twitch community in general are young. And when I say young, I don't mean in a sense of condescending way, but just the fact that there are either in high school or early college or like, you know, early 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they ask how, you know, like they're always very envious about like what we do, because, you know, when it comes to a creative job, it seems like a fun job.
Yeah.
And
there could be worse things to do, I suppose.
yes, absolutely. Like I think we trade money for what seems like glamour on the outside, but it seems very glamorous what we do, because it's cool looking when you talk about it. It's a cool job when you talk about it. But
If you're a smart business person, you can parlay that glamour
yeah, so
that the people see into money.
yeah, but
There are ways to do that.
yeah, I think what you do, even if you eat like, you know, a 5-star steak every day, it'll eventually become boring. So you do have to find something to alternate, to make sure you're not what the hell? Where am I going? Why are you taking me to?
Heck, if I can have steakums every day.
Yeah.
You remember steakums from the grocery store? It's like packaged like
yeah.
strips of steak that you throw in the fryer.
No.
I don't know if they even sell them anymore.
Yeah,
I remember them when I was a kid. They had them anyway. Hell, if I can have that every day, I'd be happy.
Why is this direction taking me to? Let me see here. So our car is loaded. You know, I don't know if the camera can see it. You probably could.
You can see the 2 boxes, yeah.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah, this car is packed to the hilt.
yeah. This is a really tiny car. This car is about the size of a Mini Cooper, right? So,
But you have so much mobility with this car.
it's true. It's very well engineered and thought of, like, in design. So, not quite as good as, like, say, a Japanese car, but it's really good.
This is 25?
Huh?
20 or 25 grand? This one?
Out the door, it was about 25, because you know we have a lot of tax and registration stuff in California.
And then you added more modifications to it.
Yeah. I also bought like $2,000 options, these heated racing bucket seats.
Yeah.
So, So the reason I brought that up is because I had to be really careful about the momentum of the car, so that in stop and go traffic, you know, I want to make sure I have enough room to stop. So stay motivated. Give yourself variety, and also remember that you can't just, you know, wake up one day and just become an artist or become a professional streamer. You know, spend $3,000, build a PC, and expect your community to build right away. And there's got to be a way for you to not do all that investment. You know, because that's like kind of throwing all your eggs in one basket too soon, or maybe that's yeah.
You know, that actually kind of parlays into how to market yourself in a way.
Yeah, very true.
In social media. And since you brought up streaming, I think maybe we should talk about how you built up your streaming. What was your intention when you started? Where is it at now, and where you hope to go with it? And then I can talk about my YouTube, which is not streaming, but it's similar. It's a channel.
Right.
So maybe you want to start off talking about your Twitch and give yourself time to. We got time, so just go ahead and talk whatever. And
we got a gripple of
promote it. Yeah, promote it and talk about how you started.
Okay, this is a long story. So about 2 years ago, this time, like right before we head down to Comic-Con, so actually, let's go all the way back. So in 2014, I picked up this game called Destiny on PS4, and as I was playing it, I kept on trying to figure out what's going on and what to do with it.
I'm still on side-scroll games, by the way.
Yeah. You're on
16
Castlevania and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, and Renegade.
Renegade. And that game's so bad. I remember
Yes, it is.
It's a Double Dragon wannabe. Yeah, so I was looking for ways to kind of learn how to be better at the game, because that game doesn't tell you anything. It's a typical, it's like a PC like multiplayer game that it doesn't teach you anything. You just have to figure things out and maybe share it among the community. So I start Googling things about it, and a lot of YouTube videos showed up, but they're very convoluted. They're really messy, right? So they're usually somebody decide to take a clip of this loot they found while playing, and then that does nothing because loots are random drops. And,
so you basically like looked for YouTube videos on how other people played it.
Yeah.
Tried to get information from that.
And it wasn't very good. So I went back to just Google search it. And then I found Twitch, the channel. I'm like, what the heck is this Twitch thing? I know about it. I just never signed up because I didn't want to register a different account just to watch a bunch of videos.
And at that time, you did hear of Twitch before?
I have, yeah. So
and how long had it been around?
I don't know. Twitch has been around for a really long time.
Okay.
I think around that time, it's already in the process of being acquired by Amazon. So,
So you found Twitch.
And I saw all these streamers, and they have all these overlay designs. You know, I don't know how they did it at the time. You know, later I found out it's because of open broadcasting software, OBS, right? So they do all these layouts, and I noticed that a lot of them don't have a sense of design, and then they like to put avatars of themselves on it, like custom avatars of themselves.
So in searching for information about the game, you became distracted by their lack of design.
Yes.
And that started getting your attention,
Yes,
is what you're saying. Okay, so keep going.
It's kind of like a pet peeve when I notice something. It's kind of like a professional hazard, right?
Right. Well,
you do this for
brought up as an artist. You know, and if that's your forte in certain things, you know, you spot it when it's off. Kind of like, you know, with me, if I see some artwork and I see something's off, I notice it and sticks out. But okay, go ahead.
And so what I did was because I'm looking for ways to. Because at that time, I was spending more time being a graphic designer than I have time to do illustrations. And I was also only doing one convention a year because it took so much to just do one convention, which is the Comic-Con that we're going to. But that obviously, as a freelance artist, that's not going to get you as much exposure because you're limited to only like the one solid market, right? So what I did was I basically contacted, or I sent out messages and emails to quite a few streamers. I offered them to sponsor them artwork, like both on the emotes and also avatars on their channels if they want to use particular avatars artwork. Because, you know, because of my graphic design background, I know what type of file to provide them in regards for them to use, and, you know, like to have transparent background, little technical details that, you know, many people might not know if you don't do graphic design, right? If you haven't had web design experiences. So
you were proactive.
I was. You have to seek out.
You sought them out, and you offered. It was a way for you to kind of hit this market, break into this industry a little bit, maybe gain more knowledge about Twitch, and then of course, you know, about Destiny ultimately, right? But so you offered your services, as you put it, sponsor, which is a good way to put it, so they could use it, which. You know, and are you asking them to like maybe promote your name, or just like
in exchange? And usually it's automatic, because when your artwork is good, people in the channel chats, they will ask you like, who did your artwork, and then that's when she plugs me, right? So, or he or she plugs me, right? So, well, you know, like when you're just starting up, you're going to get ignored or rejected, which did happen. You know, a lot of the streamers did not reply my email, and then 5 people did. Five did, and I offered to sponsor my first 5 like free artwork, right? So, and I did that. Like, shout out to the streamers Lollipop, Snackless, Name Turk. I forgot the other 2. I'm sorry, it's been so long. but thank you guys for the support, first of all, and that you were able to give me a chance to kind of work with you guys to provide like an awesome like environment. I love the Twitch community. I'm really, really happy to be a active contributor and not just like a participant of the community because of you guys, right? So, yeah, and that's how I started, right? So eventually, now people know who I am. Now my email, like a message box, blow up with messages inquiring me about artwork. And
this
unfortunately,
is before you got your own Twitch channel?
Well, my Twitch channel doesn't actually do much because I don't have time to consistently stream, right? So, but when I stream, people do come in, So, but you know, my goal is not to become a revenue-generating professional streamer, right? Or like I don't need my channel to generate revenue for me. It would be a nice bonus, but it's not what I'm searching for, because I think it's more important for me to make myself available for the people that are professionally streaming to make sure I have the time to provide them the tools they
1
want.
mile, exit right.
Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit, but yeah. So, but these days, like, it's I just had to keep on as soon as I, as one of the streamers I sponsor became partnered and became more known, then everything just started blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, it's the investment I happily make, and it's a great choice, and I would absolutely do it again to work with these people and to be part of this Twitch community.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be. Twitch people in general are very nice.
1/4 mile.
They're not as
exit
toxic as
right.
the what should we call it?
Instagram?
The YouTube comment section where
Oh yeah.
this is something I don't understand these days. Like, people will go into a channel to talk about how much they hate this stuff, right? I'm like, why do you search for this content when you don't want it, right? So, oh shit, did I miss it?
Exit right.
YouTube is probably the biggest venue for trollers and haters.
Yeah.
1/2 mile,
Stuff.
keep left.
Yeah, so Henry got me started signing up with Twitch last year, and I was pretty decent at
1
first.
mile, exit right.
I did a very rudimentary,
Yes.
I don't know, screensaver.
I think part of that is the hardware limitation.
Exit right.
You
That
don't-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And you're absolutely right, because I could only do it through my Surface Pro
0.1
2,
mile,
which is
turn
old.
left.
yes.
Then
3 generations
turn
old now.
right.
Yeah.
So I need to upgrade my hardware.
Yeah.
And, with the audio and stuff, I haven't really quite figured it out. It could be hardware related, because I've
Turn
tried a lot of software.
Yeah.
Then
Yes.
turn right.
So for everyone out there, we're not saying the Surface Pro is bad, or we're not saying go out there, drop what you have, and do something. Work with what you have.
Yeah.
And what happened is, for streaming purposes, you need a lot of horsepower because it's a resource hog. It constantly connects to the internet, and it needs a CPU to constantly process. And what Tom has for his workflow is actually sufficient. However,
Hazard reported ahead.
for him to tack on more things while he's working,
Yeah.
it becomes a
It's great to do work on, but it was never meant to be a streaming live machine.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to handle more than like 2 or 3 or 1 monitor rather. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, what are the new Surface Pro 5 that just came out?
Yeah, I think it does, because I think the highest version, and we're jumping all over the place, which is pretty awesome. The highest version of Surface Pro actually has a dedicated video card for you to do stuff like 3D videos and stuff like that. So it's actually really good.
But it still has a stupid N-trig technology.
Yeah, it's getting better. I
That's
think
what they say.
Yeah, I don't know if.
I played with it.
Yeah.
And I can't get along with it.
Yeah, I think it's actually because Wacom and Microsoft, they joined forces to offer like universal styluses or stylus technologies.
Really?
So yeah, I think the reason N-trig had, and I could be wrong. So like all of you guys watching this video,
This is
you
our
guys
speculation from a professional standpoint.
Yeah, I think I read a tidbit that the N-trig had such a jump in its technology because their partnership with Wacom, right? So it went from like 1,000 sensitivity to like 2,000 or 4,000 all of a sudden, right? So yeah, and we do also watch a lot of video of a lot of people saying those level of pressure sensitivity is unnecessary. Don't listen to them. It's so necessary.
I got into a little thing with this guy on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as bad. He wasn't trying to be disrespectful or anything, but he was trying to he was trying to say the same thing to me. Because I was bitching about the Surface Pro 2 going from, was it 1024 levels of pressure sensitivity, all the way down to 256.
Right, it's true.
In the 3.
Yeah.
And I think all I said was, look,
it makes
it's like
technically it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't on paper. It absolutely does not make sense. It's going backwards on paper. And then he tried to say, actually, after this amount of pressure sensitivity, it doesn't matter, and you can't really detect it, whether your eye or your motor skills or whatever. You can't process that. That's what he claims, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's true. I said something like, you know what? But from a marketing standpoint, you still it makes no sense. You know, keep it the same or go higher from a marketing and from you're trying to sell the artists here. And that's not going to help. And I said, even if that's true, I still would rather it be overkill than take the chance that it's underkill. Because at least overkill, you're still not affected negatively. And then he still tried to make that argument, like he wouldn't let it go.
I think. I think such statement is severely underestimating the capability and sensitivity of the artist's hand. And that's just the bottom line, because
that could be it too. Because I mean, this is what we do for a living. We've done this for decades. You know, so we are very sensitive. You know, that's why I'm very outspoken against the N-Trig, because I went and I tried the Surface Studio, because that looks like a beautiful machine.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
And I tried it. It actually had Photoshop installed at the Microsoft Store, which is rare. So then I played with it, and I just didn't like it. It was a little jittery, and it didn't, the pressure sensitivity couldn't pick up my finest, lightest touch, and it was just, I didn't like it. I hate N-Trig. I played with the Surface Pro 3, the 4, don't like it.
I think it's, in general, like like this is why I'm so hooked on Wacom, because Wacom does take that little touch to make your drawing experience more organic, even if it's just a little screen protector that gives you like friction to make you feel like you're actually drawing on paper. And that's what's so important about it, because like on Surface, on iPad, whatever, you literally just feels like you're drawing on glass, and you are drawing on glass, but they make you feel like drawing that way.
You don't want your tools, and all these are tools. You don't want your tools to be a distraction. You want everything to be, you don't even want, a well-constructed tool is one that you don't even think about it when you're creating. It should not get in the way. So, rant over this, but that's why I've stuck with the Surface Pro 2 all this time. I could have upgraded, but it's the last one with the Wacom digitizer technology in it, and that's really why I stick with it. So and I still recommend it to people who are looking for an entry point into the the Cintiq / iPad drawing experience, who've never done it before. I said right now, especially because it's older generation and you can get it ridiculous prices used, it's the best entry point. Have you tried the iPad Pro?
I have. Don't like it.
I don't like it.
I mean, I think.
Why don't you like it?
Well, the same reason that it's not. For me, it really bothers me, the fact that it's not a professional grade tool. It really is just a compliment. Like, it's a sketch pad. I will never be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to be on the road. Let's bring my iPad Pro. So whenever my client sends me a file, which, by the way, they will send it to you in a PSD format or like a zip file or something. Like, first of all, the iPad doesn't even have a file system, right? So you can't even like find a folder, save it as, or if the client walks up to you and hands you a thumb drive, you can't even upload that onto. So there's so much limitation to like a mobile OS that it's just and I think the pencil experience is okay. It's okay. I think it's good, and I think I would sketch with it, but I would never do something like a full commission, ready to print, stuff like that for it.
See, and personally for me, I didn't like the pencil experience at all. But I know people who have done really great illustrations with it. So this is purely like my feeling, and it's purely individual experience. But to me, it's because you have the hard surface of the iPad, the glass, and then the pencil's hard. So every time I'm making a stroke, it's clanking. It's hard against hard. A hard point against a hard glass, and it just gets in my way. So it's not very smooth.
Off the tangent a little bit. Have you noticed that like there's every time like you go to YouTube, you search for like blah 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 an artist review. That artist hardly ever draws in the review.
Oh, that's frustrating as hell. Because I actually looked up a ton of reviews on
on this when you before purchase
Surface, on the Surface Studio, the new Surface Pro that just got announced.
Wacom's, right?
And then even the new the Cintiq Studio,
Studio Pro.
Well, I'm not saying that eventually they don't have like good artist reviews, but the first reviews are never from artists or great artists anyway. They're always from tech reviewers, which just piss me off. because they'll test the stylus. They'll say, well, using one note, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? One note? Come
There's
on.
no parallax. And then at the end, it's all, I would say, pick the iPad Pro. I'm like, what? Like, you don't even draw, right? So try saving that file in the PSD or like, or a large printable format and then save it to a thumb drive. So there's a lot of technical challenges when it comes to like using. Well, people just want the iPad because it's for vanity reasons, right? So, and I think it's, like, but it's always, I always find the irony when, and you can totally tell when an Apple fan comes up and talk to me about what I use to draw, because, like, they'll tell me, well, like, for what I use, I don't need anything besides an iPad. And the minute this person says that, he or she puts down his iPad and takes out his MacBook. I'm like, so you're carrying two devices? Like, what are we arguing about, right? So, granted, you're carrying two very cool devices. They're like LV purses, right? So, it's more like a fashion statement than they are tools.
Or just buy fake ones in Vietnam and China.
Well, let's not make it sound like we hate Apple, because we both have used Mac products for obvious reasons, right? So,
I started off early in my career a PC guy.
Likewise.
And then
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, and then I started using Apple. I would say probably 2006 is when I made the full conversion to. 11 years ago. And well, Surface Pro, it's PC. And that could be another topic altogether about how Apple. I feel that Apple has kind of lost the flight for innovation and for pros. Although I still love some of their products, but I don't think they're the innovators that they used to be.
They're not much without. They're just another PC company without Steve Jobs, unfortunately.
Just a brand name that's expensive.
RIP. Steve.
Steve. I remember. How did you hear about Steve Jobs? Like when he passed away.
I was working. I was clearly working. I knew he was suffering, and then he didn't show up at that press conference, and then. Because I read a lot of tech blogs, so people were covering Steve Jobs like crazy. So I think it was in the afternoon when it was announced that he passed away, and same thing. Like when Michael Jackson passed away, I was like, I think it was shortly after lunch. I saw the coverage of him getting sent to UCLA Medical Center. Right, so, but it was all at work, and I was genuinely moved and upset because of these iconic personalities that affected my life. Right, so.
You know how I heard about it?
Yeah.
My friend and I, my Chinese friend and I, we went into a Chinese massage in a mall.
Yeah.
So, it's a proper massage.
Yeah.
So we were lying down in the massage place, both getting massages next to each other.
Yeah.
Like a 30-minute massage. I don't know. It was just a pampering thing.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought I heard him, but I wasn't sure if I heard right. But I heard him whisper to me, because since our tables were right next to each other, as we were both face down in the massage table. And he says, Steve Jobs died?
Yeah.
And I just barely heard it. And I'm like, I just ignored him because I'm getting a massage, it's feeling good.
Yeah.
And then afterward, when we were done paying for it, he says, "Did you know Steve Jobs died?" I was like, what? And then that's when it confirmed what I thought I had heard when I was getting a massage. So I looked it up on my phone, and sure enough, that's sad news.
I know.
It's weird because when I heard it, I came home that night, and then I just looked up all the news articles about him passing away, and then I started going into this thing where I started looking up old YouTube videos of his interviews and his presentations, and it's like it was really kind of sad,
Yeah, and I think he was quite a visionary, but more so a really good pitch man to convince people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So in some sense, like I remember reading his biography, and it just like every chapter, every new person that's introduced into the book says he's crazy. So like,
you have to have that type of personality. So, but definitely a better pitch man for Apple than what's his name, Jeff Ballmer for
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer,
for Microsoft. He owns the Clippers, right? So he bought the Clippers for $2 billion. Yeah, jeez. That's a lot of money. I think what Steve Ballmer did for Microsoft was very, very good. I think he's the reason that Microsoft is relevant, because I think he has a lot to do with the Surface, right? So
Oh, really? Okay, I
service
don't
line,
know.
yeah.
Maybe I
Steve
just-
Ballmer was, yeah. So he.
I'm just thinking as a presentation pitch man, he didn't have the same type of
Yeah,
charisma
no.
and enigma.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't convince people with like his bullshit. Right. I'm not saying he says bullshit. I'm saying Steve Jobs says a lot of bullshit and people buys it. Right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you know.
Reported ahead.
Yeah. Like, because one of the things that people who are in the tech, what should we call it? They don't like using is words that are not scientific, and I think Steve Jobs used the word like magical in his presentation, and it just stuck forever with people who hates Apple. Right? I'm like, oh come on, dude, I don't want to read that thing
He's
again.
talking like a child.
Yeah, so to kind of wrap up that thing about digital drawing tools, and I think if you're a hobbyist and looking for a good laptop slash tablet that you can also sketch on, like, you know, to get into it, then I think the Surface Pro line is awesome.
Yeah.
But if you are an artist and you just purely want something to draw in, go with the Wacom Cintiq. Either a one that connects to a computer or a Cintiq Companion 2, which is also similar to it's a what should we call it, an independent unit.
Yeah, it's like a
like a Surface
Pro 2,
yeah.
or I say 2, but
it's just not as robust and well engineered to be a laptop. It's heavy, but it's powerful. It gives you a good drawing experience. Yeah. So that's the part. Like we were, you know, I think it's.
Henry's been trying to convince me to buy his Companion 2, which I have considered.
Yes.
And I know that Henry, you know, being a good guy he is, he's offered even a better deal to me than he typically would.
Yeah.
And it's still on my mind. I don't think I need it now. I'd probably better save my money. But if let's say I run into like, you know, a good amount of, you know, like a surprise cash flow or a good royalty check or something like that, and he still has the Companion 2, I would still hit him up and consider it.
Yeah.
So.
Now, the reason I'm selling the Companion 2 is because I'm not as mobile. I don't travel nearly as much as Tom does. And I have this Companion 2 I've used it maybe like, I don't know, like a handful of time a year, because one of the client would like me to work on-site instead of off-site, which I could at home, right? So when I'm at home, I obviously don't use my Companion because I have a Cintiq, a large Cintiq that hooks up to a computer.
And I've tried it. I've played with it,
Yeah.
you know, last year and a couple of years ago when he first got it, and it's the drawing experience on it is great.
Yeah. So
There's no complaints. It's typical Wacom experience.
and it's a mint-condition one, so I think it's gonna go to somebody, and you know, why not go to my buddy, right? So
What are the technical specs? Is it the same as our Surface Pro 2s?
it's I think
8
it's
gigs of RAM and
yeah. I think I don't know what my spec is. I know I have a i5 CPU, so which is what we have.
yeah.
And then so
Because I want to say it's similar.
yeah. So it might have 256 of storage, gigs of storage, and then 8 gigs of RAM, right?
Yeah.
It's very sufficient for 2D art. But if you want to do like videos and 3D, then you want to up to the more powerful versions.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. But I think if I wasn't thinking about unloading and kind of clean house a little bit, I would probably hold on to the Cintiq. But I almost feel like, oh, by the way, like we know the price of these products are quite high.
Yes.
And so just to give you an idea, my 21UX, the one that hooks up to my computer, is $2,000 or $1995 when I bought it or something, right? So and people say, oh my god, that's so much money. Or, you're right, you know, I sold my motorcycle, right? So that I have funds to buy stuff and build things around it. And that's because my commitment to become an artist. But I bought that unit at 2011, and it's 2017, and it still runs like a champ, right? So even if I didn't make any money, that was worth like my time of ownership, right? So, but like the jobs that I've taken more than pay for that unit. So that's what I always say. Like, if you're looking to get into art, don't just invest in it. Like, if you're just going to do this as a hobby, just draw on paper, right? Or like get a little Wacom bamboo, right? But if you're starting to get stuff to get paid, then absolutely.
That's the same with photography.
Yeah.
You know, when you know that's the path that you're gonna do, whether it's art or photography, you know, and I do both. And I know that I'm going to get jobs. I know I'm going to continue to market myself as a person that takes those jobs. Then, yeah, you can justify investing in yourself, in your business, and spend a little extra money. Maybe money that normally hobbyists would not spend.
Right.
Or money that you shouldn't spend if you weren't intending to get paid. But, yeah, I mean, I just blew a lot of cash on a camera and a couple lenses here in the last year. But it's an investment into my photography business.
Yeah, and you make a lot of money with photography, so...
Well, I make decent money for the very little that when I accept those jobs.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's...
I'm not saying he's getting rich off photography. I'm saying, like, he makes a lot of money when he does photography, when he does
per gig.
Yeah. So
but that's the thing. That's another topic.
Get good first.
That's another topic, too, is, you know, you want to work smarter, not harder. You know, yesterday we had a brief conversation about people who, you know, work very, very hard. They might make a lot of money, but they have to work their butts off to do it.
Yes.
And, you know, as a creative, I think all of our goal is to work smarter, which is to take on less gigs, work less, but to make more money per gig.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, part of that is your willingness to turn down lower paying jobs. Right. You know, I know sometimes, like, as a freelancer, you don't know when jobs are coming, and you don't want to.
That's hard.
Away.
That's a hard hurdle to overcome mentally.
So,
is to turn down jobs.
Yeah, but at some point, then you realize that hey, you can get jobs for this. You know, this is what your value is. Then you should try to not let other people undervalue you, right? So, I think this goes back to why I'm trying to get Tom to start streaming, because of my notoriety, or like, you know, like I don't want to say popularity because that sounds like really conceited, and because if I were truly popular, then my channel should, every time I start streaming, I should get a lot of viewers. I don't, but what I do is I get a lot of clients, right? So one of the thing is I don't really want to turn down clients, right? Because when business comes to the door and they're willing to pay for the prices I listed, I don't want to turn them away. But unfortunately, my bandwidth and my capacity is at its limit these days with everything that I'm doing. So that's why I want to get Tom to start doing more, and that's why I want him and I to be a team, so that whenever we get jobs that we have to turn down, we don't have to turn them down anymore, because we can cover for one another.
Yeah.
And then when style is a issue, then the person that the client wants the style to can come in at last minute to tighten it, so that the style can be way more to the client's liking, right? Yeah. But technically, we're sound enough to be able to draw all the stuff that we need to draw. Well, you more so than I am.
Well, it depends. I mean, you got your own style and stuff. Like I can't. If someone asked me to draw like you, I can't do it. I can.
Well, that's the whole idea. We're not supposed to.
Right.
We're supposed to be individuals, right? So.
But so yeah, I actually did get a Twitch account, stream, and I started using it. Started streaming on a semi-regular basis. And it was all good. I started getting followers and everything, and I like, you know, started to put some effort into the channel. And then Vietnam came up.
Yeah.
And then I started vlogging on YouTube again, and that just kind of blew up. And I started making money on there. So then they're like, well, why am I doing Twitch when I can just do YouTube?
Yeah.
So that, long story short, I started vlogging in Vietnam every day, literally every single day. And I didn't do it for any other reason, other than just to have memories of literally every day of my trip. I did it for myself, but people started.
Yeah, they enjoy like the exploration.
Yeah. And then I started getting like a ton of subscribers and comments, and I started for the first time. I mean, I've had YouTube since 2007, I think, 2008, 2007.
Yeah.
And I would upload videos occasionally, drawing, art, you know, whatever, behind the scenes, some vlogs, but it was so inconsistent, and I let the account basically die.
Right.
And I hadn't touched it in like 2 years or more.
Yeah.
And then I started doing this, and then like I had probably had like 600, maybe a little more. Okay, I had 500 followers, and And then last year, I told myself I'm going to try to update my YouTube more. But they were just art videos. So I did that like once a month, twice a month. I got up to 700 followers. And then since Vietnam, I'm now about I'm ready to hit 2,000.
Okay.
So that's just from this winter to now.
Right. So so
it exploded over recently. And then for the first time, I actually started making ad revenue money.
Yeah. So it seems like the takeaway from this is that, like it won't take off right away. Your channel, whatever your platform is.
Right.
And sometimes it could randomly you hit something, and then that's what Tom did, and it's starting to take off. So
but that's the thing too is
he's going to try to scratch that area
with Twitch and YouTube is that the common denominator and 99% of the time with most people who have somewhat of a following and are possibly making money, they never intended going into it to make money. If you go in with the mentality to make money, you're probably going to fail.
Yeah.
We started doing it because it was a hobby on the side or something else completely, and then it just accidentally kind of turned into this. Right. And then that kind of motivated us to, take advantage of that. Accidental following.
Yeah. For all you nerds out there like me, it's like playing the video game Zelda. You're Link. You're exploring, Hyrule, and all of a sudden you found the Master Sword, or you found extra rupees, or you threw a bomb somewhere and you found a cave and you go in and you get to buy something. Right. So that's kind of like the discovery that you're doing when it comes to venturing into an area of your interest. Like treat it like fun, right? So try to have fun with it, because if you just want to make it a job, well, it might eventually turn into one, but try not to aim it as your career path, right? Because you don't know. This is kind of like the Wild West right now, because it's not a stable thing. There's no clear methodical way of getting famous, right? So or something.
Same with photography. I never intended that to be a paying thing. That was just for fun, and then I started taking pictures of models, and then when I started working with my first bodybuilder, Jerome, it's kind of like with you and Twitch. I actually contacted Jerome. I said, look, I want to do more bodybuilding and fitness, and if you're willing to work with me. I knew him from before, but I said, if you got the time, I'd love to do a shoot, no charge. And guess what? Those pictures went viral online. And then
Jerome's like, yeah, dude, I'd love to check myself out.
Yeah, like the chalk deadlift picture, that went viral.
I'm just kidding, Jerome, don't kill me.
But it went viral, and then I ended up getting a couple other fitness photo shoots go viral. And, I mean, they got circulated all around the internet by like comedians and famous people and stuff like that too. I started getting gigs, and then Muscular Development, their online presence, they circulated one of my photos, and then I started getting paid for that stuff. But I think I had the advantage there because I used to do bodybuilding, so I know, and as an artist, I know lighting. So I know what poses and what lightings bring out the best in bodybuilders, unlike other photographers who just decide to want to do fitness. So that was my advantage. That was my trump card as far as getting clients.
You know how to focus your photography toward the definition, the detail, and the intricacy of what the judges look at when they judge bodybuilding.
That was there myself.
Right? So, let's interrupt our blog with this plug for our friend Alejandra.
Yeah, Alejandra.
Hey, we found this for you at a convenience store, so we picked it up. It's got your name on it. We miss you, Alejandra. All right, keep driving.
I joke with her that she's my Colombian girlfriend. Even though I say online that I had all of my girls in Colombia are my girlfriend.
My God, I'm still hijacking her from you.
Now you got your own girlfriends. She's mine. No, she's adorable.
Yeah, she's great.
I mean, everyone we met in Colombia is fantastic.
Yes, and we hope to be back very, very soon. Miss you guys very much.
Yes.
Shout out to our friends at Comic-Con Colombia and Planet Comics, right? Alejandro Caballero and Julio Cesar. Sorry, I'm driving, so you got to think about it. And then Astrid, Steven, Danielle, who else?
Laura?
Laura Borges, Laura, all the Lauras we know. So, and our translators, Mariana, right? And the Laura, right?
who's my Colombian wife, fiance. I remember.
I was like, Mariana was my
Mariana?
manager. Yeah, Mariana's my manager.
Mariana is awesome.
Yeah, so.
I miss them.
But the Caballero brothers, we're actually gonna meet them at the Comic-Con in San Diego. So they came all the way out to the west coast of the United States.
And my bodyguard, Alejandro, my bodyguard, that stood behind my interpreter, that stood behind me at my table.
Yeah.
He was wearing the military outfit.
Yes.
The entire time.
Yes. And there was Juan, right? There's that Alejandro, and then there's Juan, who was also in one of our helpers.
Yep, Jorge,
So,
who drove us around.
Yes.
Shout out to Jorge.
Oh yeah, that's the Plaza Mayor, Jorge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Luis. He took us out to lunch.
Yes. Also a Plaza Mayor person.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I didn't see him my second trip there, so yeah.
Oh, really?
It's kind of hard. Yeah. The second trip, like Comic-Con Columbia, it went berserk, right? It blew up, right? So like my second year there, it was just a lot of craziness. So I wasn't able to see everybody as we saw the first time in 2014. So yeah, miss all of you guys, by the way. Yeah. So.
Miss Columbia.
And that jerk Patrick Ballesteros, he got to go there like 3 years in a row. Jerk.
3 years in a row.
Or something, yeah. I think.
Oh my gosh. I only did 1 year. I think I got the least amount of years.
Yes, you did. Because I yanked you with me, remember?
Yeah.
You were my luggage. But that's the best part. I think we got much tighter as friends because of Comic-Con Columbia, right? So, because we were roommates, and then we worked out together, right? So, we kind of we were half exploring Medellin, like a little village that we were in.
Yeah, we worked out in that little room downstairs.
Yeah. So
of the Art Hotel.
Yeah. So now that it's like our ritual to work out together whenever we get together, right? So.
Well, usually when I'm traveling, I'm working out alone, and you don't really I don't run into a lot of people who are work out regularly when on the weekends, and B, well, especially at conventions.
Yeah.
So that work out, and B, especially when they're out of town on a convention.
Yeah.
Or C, they just the hotel facilities are just crap.
Yeah. I mean, we make do with what we have. So maybe one of the days while we're out there, then I'm just gonna do demonstration of what I do, like the variations of push-ups that you can do, right, to just make it a body weight.
Oh yeah, I do. I substitute body weight. Like I'll do I think I told you yesterday, I'll do like 300 squats.
Oh yeah.
And I did that in Vietnam.
That's crazy though. 500
push-ups.
Yeah. How many sets do you split that up to? Do you think?
Right now, because I think I told you I can do it in like 10 minutes and 33 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
That took. The first set was 100. Second set's 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's 100 and then 50s all the way through. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets.
That is a lot. I wouldn't be able to walk after that. I don't think I would be able to walk
My legs
next
are still
day.
killing me right now.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good substitute.
Yeah.
When you don't have machines.
Maybe let me try that after San Diego. I don't want to not be able to walk.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
During the ride about halfway, our bodies became restless and we had to find the rest stop. The same rest stop we stopped at last year. As we got closer to San Diego, we noticed an increasing military and Navy presence.
There we go. Yeah, baby. That's awesome. We always catch something cool when we're out here.
And here we are at the rest area, probably one of the nicest rest areas I've been to in the States. At least compared to the shithole rest areas in the Midwest. This opportunity also gave us a chance to snack on our awesome Chinese pastries. In the back of the rest area, you can even get a nice view of the ocean, even though it was kind of overcast today.
Alright, enough messing around. We still had to get to the convention to set up and check into the hotel. As we got into town, the increasing smell of nerds permeated my nostrils, as they were probably heading to preview night. As we were approaching the convention center, the density of geeks had increased, but our first priority was to find parking.
Got my fancy Comic-Con badge with the exhibitor label.
And that fancy exhibitor badge is what's going to get us inside before anyone else for preview night.
Before they officially let crowds in. This is probably the emptiest you'll see all weekend.
Actually, it was constantly repeated over the speakers that we weren't supposed to film or take pictures of anything of the vendors inside the exhibitor hall before the place opened. Whoops. Here in Artist's Alley, we found Henry's table, and we had to set it up before we went back to the hotel to check in.
So Henry and I have to go upstairs to get our lanyards. We're done setting up at his table, and we just have to get something to wear around our necks. We got gifts.
Yes.
As we went to get our lanyards, they gave us books and bags.
Oh, there we go, lanyards right here.
In the upstairs part of the convention center, there were already hopefuls lining up for their early portfolio reviews. There were huge crowds and lines as we were trying to navigate our way outside the convention center. We weren't sure if they were just waiting to get in for preview night or waiting for something else completely. When we found our hotel, even the employees were dressed up in the San Diego Comic-Con superhero spirit. Frustratingly, when we checked in, our room was not ready.
So Henry and I are stuck here because they're not ready with our room yet. They should have been ready 3 hours ago. It's 5 p.m. And we're forced to wait, but they gave us free expensive water.
And about 20 minutes later, we were given permission to check in.
It's as cool as I remember it.
Yes. You want the bed?
So this is a suite, not a typical hotel room. This is hotel for the swanky.
There's a lot of room here, so you can put your shit here if you want. But we don't have a balcony this time.
See what kind of view we got.
Yeah.
Oh, no balcony.
Yeah. But we got a good view though.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And how do we decompress after checking in? We work out with weights.
Oh, a scale. Let's see. Let's see if I weigh. How much I weigh. If I lost any weight. Probably not.
Pants too, those are pretty heavy, the cargos.
Weigh the same.
What's that?
Same as last week. 171.
Oh, I'm almost 170. 169. That's pretty heavy for me. I should be like around 165.
We managed to Facebook Live most of our training session in case you guys are interested on how two Asian artists maintain their non-Asian, Greek-like Adonis bodies. wipe down our equipment? Bitch, please, first world problems. Henry and I wrapped up working out just in time to catch the last part of happy hour, which included free snacks and drinks.
This is me and Henry's post-workout dinner, and boy do we deserve it. Look at Henry, how tired he is. He is white.
Okay, so we treated happy hour more as a post-workout relaxation appetizer. This was the real dinner as we walked to the hotel, restaurant, and bar. After dinner, we wrapped up working as we typically do. Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Henry.
And we are in our hotel here in San Diego for Comic-Con weekend. And this is late Wednesday evening, but technically it's Thursday morning. So we have been working most of the evening. We spent the day basically just driving to the city, and then, I helped set up the table with Henry, his table. I kind of did some filming, taking pictures, and then we checked into the hotel, and then we worked out and had dinner. And any interesting thoughts about today, or anything else you want to chime in about our wrap up for today?
I think it was very eventful, right? So, first of all, it was the excitement that, because we actually, unlike previous years, we planned what we want to do this year, right?
Yeah.
So it felt like a really full day. We drove, we stopped to make sure we take pictures on the locations that we saw last year, and then we have to adjust a little bit because of the traffic and the timing of things, and the reorganization of the floor plan of San Diego Convention Center. And we knew we were going to work out, so I practically killed myself while we're at it. And
if we got that out of the way, we can kind of relax.
Yeah. So, and then pretty much shortly after dinner, which I think we finished at 8, we basically worked until up to maybe 20 minutes ago. So for me, I'm working on some storyboards for a TV spot for an advertising agency, and I have 3 more frames to go, but I'm gonna stop. I think I'll finish those 3 frames tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm pretty burnt out. I think Henry's gonna go to bed pretty soon, but I'm gonna stay up a little bit and work on the Switch graphic novel. So like I mentioned before, this weekend is gonna be a lot of work for me. I wish I could just relax completely and then enjoy the show more. I'll still drop by the show every day a little bit just to take pictures and stuff like that and do some filming, but I'll be spending a lot of time working at the hotel. So,
and today was preview night, and
yeah.
I skipped it because I just go I just have work that are outside of convention. I can't be picking up commissions tonight, so I said hi to the necessary people at the show, and then we just booked. Yeah, so I mean, all right, 4 more days. So
yeah, and then tomorrow I guess will be more of the same. I mean, the only thing I have to do tomorrow is I have a lunch with the people, or lunch meeting with somebody at Sakura for the Micron pens, and her name's Julia, and I've known her for years, or 9 years I think, and that's the only thing. And I might say hi to a couple people, and then maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but I do have to work.
Yeah, and the Sakura people are very kind. They always walk around Artist Alley and give samples of their pens. So if I see her, I'll definitely say hi and mention that Tom has told me about that you're being here and stuff.
Yeah, and I'll tell her to stop by too when we have lunch to check out your stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up for this Wednesday evening, the preview night of San Diego Comic-Con, and we will check back tomorrow.
Yeah, we're so tired. It's not even funny.
Good night.
Bye guys. Thank you.